Howdy all, my name is ChucklesTC and welcome back to my Monoposto INDYCAR career mode, or INDYCAR series, where today we're going to be racing to Mexico, but first, let's do a spotter's guide. So for Chip Ganassi Racing, you have the red Solo Cup car for Alex Palou, and the Juan Pablo Montoya Target car for Sir Scott Dixon. For Andretti Global, Will Powers in the TWG AI car, with Kyle Kirkwood in the Pepsi car. Deal Coin Racing, uh, Ramon Grosjean is going to be in the unsponsored car, while Dennis Hauger is in the Rockstar Energy car. Marshink Racing has Marcus Armstrong in the white Liquid Death car, and Felix Rosenquist in the black Liquid Death car. Mick Schumacher is in his own car. I don't know how to say that sponsor's name. And Graham Rahal is in the Meyer car. HA Foyt Racing has the Cometrans car for Kyle Collette, and Ferrucci in a different or less reflective car, but still the same paint scheme for Homes for Our Troops and Bass Pro Shops. ECR has Rasmussen in this unsponsored car, likely to be a direct supply car, and Rossi in the Dollar General car. For Juncos, VK's in this YPF car, hopefully not for too much longer, and Stingray Rob's in the Agape Energy car. For Aaron, hold on. Okay. For Aaron McLaren, Christian Lundgaard is in the Home Depot car, with Pato Award in a custom car someone on the Discord made for him based off the Indy cars, but it is not actually an Indy car, as you can see from the front. For Team Penske, we have Scott McLaughlin in the Folgers car, and David Malukas in the Porsche Penske IMSA / WEC car. For Brian Reibold Racing, we have Jack Harvey in the Grinds car, repping the April Fool's Zero Coolest Ranch Pouches flavor. And then Jimmy Johnson for CTC Racing is repping the brand new Lean Cuisine car. First ever Lean Cuisine main sponsor I've done, which is very cool. And then Prema has Robert Schwartzman in just the basic Prema colors, and Callum Ilott repping the Krispy Kreme car. Now, let's go here. Through 5 races, we have 5 different race winners, being Scott Dixon, Kyle Kirkwood, Scott McLaughlin, Will Power, and Alex Palou most recently. Penske has a 15-point championship lead, and McLaughlin has a 6-point lead over Alex Palou. Now let's head into Mexico qualifying. Where in Indy Next qualifying, we had a lot of incidents, and we're going to ride along and take a tour of the track here. The first driver I see going will take a lap with Stingray Rob. And I'll point out the hazard spots, or the areas to watch throughout the day. This turn 1, 2, 3 segment has a lot of cars end up in that outside barrier on the exit at 3, which is very rough, but it's taken a lot of cars out. This area is not too much to worry about. They're usually able to get it slowed down and up through the hairpin. They are all right. This corner I've had a few slide off during practice / testing / personal use, but it's not too much of a concern all the way down through the end of the second segment. However, this back third segment is very rough. I've seen a lot of cars lose it here, and a lot of cars days end. And if you go and look at the Indy Next qualifying from yesterday, or Indy Next race, because the qualifying did not happen, we had no one qualify because two of them got taken out in that corner on the same lap. Qualifying is dangerous here because of that. And luckily, IndyCars should be able to qualify. They have a lot more time than I gave the Indy Next guys. But also, we saw so many cars DNF in the Indy Next race that it was just insane, incomprehensible how much damage was done around the circuit. But now it's 6 laps. We're going to look to see who can set some fast laps. And we're going to be watching that. Oh, we already have cars off. It's the Pepsi car, Kyle Kirkwood, and Stingray Rob, who we rode along with. And they were taken out in the segment 2. I believe it was that little chicane area that I talked about. But that is very interesting. There you see Alex Palou making an overtake. And Callum Ilott currently sitting on pole. But with a group of other cars on hot laps, you'll expect him to be overtaken. But Kirkwood, a race winner earlier this year, yeah, I mean, he's already been overtaken by Graham Rahal. And Palou now goes to the top. We got Ilott in Rahal and Hauger almost a second off. Lundgaard, fastest now. VK to P2. A group of cars on outlaps now that had their laps ruined by the caution. And Harvey will be the last one to complete his first hot lap. He's going to go P3. Very interesting. I mean, if you look at the top 5 right now, you've Scott McLaughlin, Pato Award, Jack Harvey, Christian Lundgaard, and Renus VK. Jimmy Johnson down in 7th. Ilott's in 12th. Rahal's in 11th. Hauger's in 10th. It's very interesting what we have going on here right now. And Stingray Rob and Kyle Kirkwood got collected, and I'm going to go back and watch the replay after the recording is over, see if I can see who caused the incident. But it likely won't be replayed. You never know, though. With it only being a qualifying incident, and the fact that we had such a good visual on it, I likely won't replay it. Especially because that just makes these videos take so much longer to make. But a group of cars now out trying to set their first hot laps, too. Cars like Ferrucci, Dixon, Malukas, who could all be a threat to the top spot. And Fro is on an outlap. Who didn't qualify great, but we don't know how heavily he was impacted. There we go, another collision. This time between Will Power and Romain Grosjean. Grosjean is able to continue. Is Power done? Power is also able to continue. That impedes Dixon's lap heavily. Now, near contact between the two Ganassi drivers. Dixon's technically still on a hot lap, but I would expect to see him pull it in this time by. So you see for the IndyCar cars, the line is a bit different, and he's going to have an awful lap here. 6 seconds off the time with his teammate on a hot lap right behind him. Or no, that isn't his teammate. Who's behind him? Is it VK? I have no idea who's behind Dixon. But with very little time, a lot of drivers with very poor qualifying times. I would not be surprised to see some drivers start way down in the field that shouldn't be, and some drivers like a Jimmy Johnson right now in contention for a top qualifying position. We have power collected again in an incident. And who is collected with power? Was that Grosjean again? That'll be another look at the replay for me, and I'll update you guys when it's the actual race. We have two cars right now in hot laps, being Graham Rahal, Mick Schumacher, and Kyle Collette, who has not set a time. Neither has Ferrucci or Grosjean. Rahal goes P13. Grosjean just starting his hot lap. So are Collette and Ferrucci. Schumacher and Power are now on hot laps as well. Very, very interesting qualifying we have going on here. And it appears that we are going to be following Will Power. Grosjean now taking the checkered on his qualifying. He goes P17. Ferrucci now across the line. We'll go P8. Power is going to go. I did not see where Power ended up. P13. Mick Schumacher is just out there making a lap. That is the end of qualifying here. Your pole winner is Scott McLaughlin, the points leader, with a 1 minute 2.515 second lap. Pato O'Ward will start second, and Jack Harvey will start off third. Christian Lundgaard in fourth, and Rinus VK in fifth. Santino Ferrucci sixth, Alex Palou seventh, and Jimmy Johnson in eighth. Christian Rasmussen in ninth. Marcus Armstrong will start in 10th. Mick Schumacher 11th, Robert Schwartzman 12th. Will Power 13th, Dennis Hauger 14th, Graham Rahal 15th, Kyle Collette 16th, Callum Ilott 17th, Romain Grosjean 18th, Felix Rosenquist 19th, Alexander Rossi 20th, David Malukas 21st. 22nd was Sir Scott Dixon, 23rd, Stinger Robb, and 24th, Kyle Kirkwood. Robb and Kirkwood, neither of which set lap times. And I will see you all at the race. Howdy, y'all. Now, welcome to the Grand Prix. After further review of the incident, it was in between Will Power and Marcus Armstrong, the other white car out there. We're calling strategy for Robert Schwartzman. We're going to put him on medium tires here for the round 6 Mexico race. Jimmy Johnson, racing for our team, ChucklesTC Racing, starts in P8. Our Allegiance team, Giant Rainbow Racing, is starting in 4th with Jack Harvey. Or they might have actually started in 3rd and just lost position on the start. Sorry about that. Apple really needs to learn when I mean notifications. I mean no notifications. But it seems like with these IndyCar cars, that first 3 turns, not as big of an issue. But down here, the area where Scott McLaughlin is currently approaching, this is the troubled area. with these cars, and it only seems to be when a slower car is ahead of them. So there's a fair chance that with everyone being at race speed, we don't see as many incidents, which is uncommon, especially with Indy Next. We saw a lot more incidents than we were in the race form. But it was because people were all racing at different, or people were racing at the same speeds, but they're also just worse drivers, I guess. It was, I mean, the equivalent of the 2023 Truck Series Championship race, and this race has honestly made a great contention for me to make it the championship race next season that we do. And Kirkwood starting way in the back with Stingray Rob, who's actually moved up quite a bit. And Dixon's just fallen back. He's unable to gain position, it appears. Harvey's lost position. VK's lost one to Pillow. Jimmy Johnson's held solid in 8th. And Schwartzman has fallen back to P14. Scott McLaughlin sets the fastest lap of 1 minute 7.109 second lap. There's Will Power moving up into the points, battling with Marcus Armstrong. Something we saw in qualifying, like I said. 2 drivers getting together. Now they're going to be meeting back on track. Pato Ward, the hometown hero, sets the fastest Sector 1 by over 0.2 faster. Romain Grosjean making a pass on Callum Ilott. And it appears that he's going to be able to make the pass stand. Ooh. Almost clear fro on Kyle Collette. They're just going to keep going side by side. There we see Schwartzman. The red sidewall tires. Drivers like Rosenquist, Malukas, and Rob are all playing strategy. They went with hard tires to start off with. Schwartzman, Ferrucci, and Pato all went with the red sidewall medium tires. And everyone else went with the green sidewall tires to start the race. Not sure why we're focusing on Kyle Collette. Now, McLaughlin's pulled out to over 2-second lead in front of Pato Award. We see Malukas trying to get past Stingray Rob. And Ilott trying to get past Collette. Ooh, Dennis Hauger with the track limit warning. There you see the Arrow McLaren boys having a good outing here. Mexico McLaughlin, the leader, pits, which will allow Pato to inherit the lead. And Harvey will pit as well. VK stays out. Jimmy Johnson stays out. McLaughlin will throw on the hards. Harvey will also throw on hard tires. Rahal putting on hard tires. Kirkwood on hards. Rob on softs. But McLaughlin went from the lead down to P11 with a pit stop. So now it's up to Pato to push and gain that lap time back, that he can cycle out in front of McLaughlin, and he has clean track to do so. Dixon with the softs, not Rob. Lundgaard will now pit from second, followed in by Alex Palou, Jimmy Johnson, Christian Rasmussen, Power Schumacher. But we see Lundgaard cycle out to P9. The first that pit this lap by Palou and Johnson both went on hards. Same with Power, Schumacher, Hauger, Collette, and Eilot. It's very interesting stuff. It's less than a 10-second lead for Pato over Malukas. And Pato comes in this time by. I feel like that's super early for the medium tires, or the Reds are just able to last so long. VK got passed by McLaughlin on track before he even pits. Ferrucci inherits the lead. And the two ECR cars racing each other as Rossi comes into the pits this time by. I will say, interesting strategies we have playing out. Jimmy Johnson was, through the pit stops, was actually able to gain a position at least on VK. Pato cycles out 5 seconds behind McLaughlin. Rasmussen sets the fastest sector 1. And our guy Schwartzman pitting from down the field. He's the first to pit that started on those hard tires, I believe. Did I start him on hards? I thought I started Schwartzman on mediums. Ferrucci, the last car that was on the medium tires, is now pitting. And he's going to throw on the hard tires as well. Rasmussen, VK, Dixon, and Eilot are the only ones on soft tires. Palou is in P7 behind Grosjean now. Palou has the tire advantage, but Grosjean's been there every lap of the race. And whoa, nearly contact there from Palou to Grosjean. And Jimmy Johnson still holding on to P8. Slow and steady there, Jimmy. And Jimmy Johnson, with this display showing why he's a 7-time NASCAR Cup Series champion and why he raced with Chip Ganassi Racing in IndyCars for a few years. He may be nearing the end of his career, but he may just have one win left in him. As McLaughlin is looking to be our first 2-time winner on the season. There are few drivers that would like to argue with that. And honestly, both the Dry Rambled and the Chuckles and Clown racers are having a great day. Running P4 and P6, respectively. And we have now gone 9 laps caution free. So when McLaughlin comes through to finish off lap 9, we will do a walk through the field. Schwartzman now less than a sector separating P1 and P24. But now here comes McLaughlin to the line, and let's do a field rundown. McLaughlin leads, Pato Ward's in second, Christian Lundgaard in third, followed by Jack Harvey in fourth, and Alex Palou in fifth. Jimmy Johnson running in P6, followed by Santino Ferrucci, Christian Rasmussen, who comes into the pits now, Rinus VK, and Will Power. Then it's Graham Rahal, Mick Schumacher, Kyle Kirkwood, Marcus Armstrong, David Malukas, and Dennis Hauger. Then we have Kyle Collette, Stingray Robb, Callum Ilott, Alexander Rossi, Felix Rosenquist, Ramon Grosjean, Sir Scott Dixon, and Robert Schwartzman. That is your grid walk on lap 10 here in Mexico, as we have ran caution free for all 10 laps. Penalty free, not even a local caution has been waived, which is not what we expected after the qualifying shenanigans. But can you ever really expect anything in an NTT IndyCar Series race? Sir Scott Dixon will set the fastest Sector 1 from way back in 22nd. Pato Ward gaining time now on Scott McLaughlin. Scott McLaughlin on 6-lap old hard tires. Pato on 4-lap old hard tires. Let's see, Rinus VK coming into the pits and throwing on a fresh set of medium tires. He might exit down in P20. And Sir Scott Dixon, P21, sets the fastest lap of the race. I will say VK sure does have an advantage on his side, having the tires that should be just about perfect to run to the end of this race. Is now Pato has gotten it under a second. 7-lap old tires on McLaughlin, 5 laps for Pato. Harvey still rides in 4th. Jimmy Johnson riding in 7th now. About a second and a half separating him and Santino Ferrucci. Will Power a handful of seconds behind them. Here we go. The two Primas on each other. Callum Ilott will make the pass easy on Robert Schwartzman. You see the VK, VK clearly has speed, but man, those strategy issues. He can either qualify or he can race. And if I were that team, I'd just focus on getting the finishes. You need the points. But personally, I'm looking at my guy, and I call the opening strategy for him. I give him tires to start off on. Other than that, it's all up to his crew. And when he's running P22, there's nothing I can do. Then look at the guy's car I am. Jimmy Johnson, running up in P7, having a pretty decent day. His Allegiance teammate, Jack Harvey, running in P4. And now he's advanced into a podium position on 8-lap old tires. And Pato's inherited the lead as he had basically all but pushed McLaughlin into the pits, as McLaughlin takes a fresh set of medium compound tires. You see about 8-9 laps. That's as much as a lot of these drivers are willing to go. You don't see like how in some of these races we'll have a driver go for 10 laps on these hard tires. Right now, the drivers with the most, I mean, and you can see why on 8-lap old tires. If we can get a look at Kirkwood again, you see how it's starting to disintegrate. I can only imagine what Jack Harvey's feeling as well, and Christian Lundgaard. But Pato Ward stays out. Lundgaard will peel in with 7-lap old tires. Harvey will not come in. Does that mean Jimmy Johnson is coming in this time? He does not. Harvey now on 9-lap old tires. He is clearly going for the finish, but he's 12 seconds behind Pato Award. McLaughlin's 14 seconds behind him. But McLaughlin's gaining time like no other. He needs these drivers to block for him. Only driver in between him and Pato. McLaughlin has gained 5 seconds this lap. Santino Ferrucci, why are you not giving the optimum strategy to your leading car? I could not tell you. VK's now moved up to 13th, Dixon down in 15th. We are 14 laps in, caution free. Jimmy Johnson running in P6 on 8-lap old tires. Harvey in P4 on 9-lap old tires. Do we see a Jack Harvey peel in this time? Why didn't Pato peel in? McLaughlin can run with it till the end of the race. Harvey will not peel in. Jimmy Johnson will not peel in. Jack Harvey on 10-lap old tires. The oldest tires in the field. Kirkwood comes in with 9-lap old tires. Hauger stays out. Just really curious what is up with some of these strategy calls. I understand it's AI, but still. Now, less than a 5-second lead for Pato Award, and he'll stay out once again. Now, his only hope is just to keep the tires on the cars. He has a few more laps to go. Jimmy Johnson definitely not setting the fastest pace. I'll see how for Johnson or Jack Harvey you can pit now. So you're looking for 2 great finishes. And Ferrucci's setting up for another great finish. But McLaughlin with a P2s win championships. Palou with a disappointing 9th place run right now. It's just that disappointing. Same with Dixon, winner of round 1, has been nowhere to be seen since, essentially. VK down in P11, hoping that someone in front of him makes a mistake or pits. Or loses some big time. But now less than 2 seconds separate the leaders. As Pato Ward rounds the final corner and will go to take the white flag in Mexico. Can the Mexican driver win his home race? Can Scott McLaughlin put a cloud over the parade? As Ferrucci now has fallen back into position. Can Jack Harvey or Jimmy Johnson pick up another position and score their teams a top 5? For CTC Racing, that'll be our first ever top 5 finish. Scott McLaughlin now sets up fastest Sector 1, getting it down within a second to Pato Ward. Really watching this top 6 here. VK 3 seconds separate him and Marcus Armstrong. With VK being so far down, he's out of the points equation. But now a quarter of a second with 3 corners left to go. Scott McLaughlin, Pato Ward, Mexico race on the line. Who will get it? And it's a drag race to the line. Pato Ward will get it by 0.3 of a second over Scott McLaughlin. Then we have Christian Lundgaard, Santino Ferrucci, Alex Palou. Jack Harvey will come in P5 on 6-lap old tires, followed by his teammate of Jimmy Johnson, Alex Palou, in the fastest lap of the race. Then Felix Rosenquist, should say. Then the rookie Mick Schumacher, and then Will Power. Then we have Marcus Armstrong, Renus VK coming home at P12. Ramon Grosjean and Stingray Robb, 13th and 14th. Or not Stingray Robb, Sir Scott Dixon. David Malukas, 15th. Colette, 16th. Rasmussen, 17th. Robb, 18th. Kirkwood, 19th. Schwartzman, 20th. 21st. Ray Hall, 22nd. Ilott. I was so close to doing the whole grid. There you see Robert Schwartzman's stats. His best lap was a 1 minute 7.55 second lap for total time of 21 minutes. And there is your podium. For Arrow McLaren Racing, Christian Lundgaard in P3. For Team Penske, Scott McLaughlin in P2. In the Hometown Hero Pato Award, racing for Arrow McLaren, the Mexican driver takes home the win in Mexico. That's not the right flag for Christian Lundgaard, by the way. Yeah. In coming home, P23, Dennis Hauger. P24, Alexander Rossi. Now your point standings. Ray Hall and Hauger, you're only two without points. Jimmy Johnson with 6 points is up into P19. But Pato Award now 11 points behind Scott McLaughlin. Alex Palou drops to being 14 points back. Sir Scott Dixon, another disappointing day with no points gained. Now let's go to the main lobby to check out the constructors, where Penske holds a 23-point lead before next race in Turkey. And Scott McLaughlin, now we are 6 races in, 6 individual winners. Scott McLaughlin was almost the first 2-time winner, and you see he has 3 second-place finishes and 1 win. And Pato has 3 straight podiums, the most of any driver. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe and come back next episode for a race in Turkey. Thank you all and goodbye.